Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I am so glad to be here. It has been quite a while and a lot of adventures have happened. But in today's episode, I'm going to be going over what I would call my $25,000 lesson. And I'm going to go through some frameworks and teach you how to find and hire the right business coach or program, and to learn about some of the mistakes I have made over the last couple of years. Because the truth is, you don't want to spend $25,000 just to realize that their system doesn't work for you. And that's exactly what happened to me. All right, so let's dive into this. So you may be asking, Nick, why in the world did you spend $25,000 on a business coach? Because the investment, it was a no-brainer. All you have to do is pay $25,000 to make $100,000 per month, and if you're making $100,000 per month, you are you're creating a seven-figure business. So why would I not bet on that? But how did I get to this point in saying yes and handing over those credit cards and starting their program? Well, let's back up a little bit. I don't know about you, but I love learning about people's processes and systems, and I think the curiosity just got the best of me. And this was a couple of years ago, and I don't think LinkedIn was having such a big issue of all of this automated AI generated reach out where you're getting multiple people DMing you per day on LinkedIn. And I was just getting into LinkedIn, honestly, and I remember I received this a message on LinkedIn. It was very personable. And I was super excited, like, oh, wow, this person has like 20,000 followers. This is a big deal. I bet I could get them to work with me and I could present my offer to them. But little did I know this, the way the wording was in the message, it was they wanted to partner with me and just to see how we could collaborate, which I thought was, this is great. Yeah, I would love to do that. But then also on the back end, I was like, maybe they're trying to sell me something, but you know what? I could also sell them something in the meantime. So I went ahead and messaged them, and it kind of turned out that I was interested in their system process. So what happened? I was like, okay, they send a cold DM. It was very warm and inviting. And then after I was messaging them, they were inviting me to a free masterclass to learn how to create a 25K offer. And I was like, my offer is, it's around $5,000 right now. How do I take this $5,000 offer and create it into a $25,000 offer? And so I went through the masterclass, the presentation, and in the back of my mind too, I'm thinking of like, oh, this is their sales format. If it's working for me, it's got to work for other people too if I were to use this format. But yeah, it seems like that's how a lot of coaches are doing it. They're kind of pushing to a masterclass or some kind of keynote or some sort of webinar where you learn how to create a higher offer. And it's going on out there. I'm pretty sure you all have seen it. But back in the day, I didn't realize this was the case. I was just being sold to for this entire strategy and everything for the very first time, right? And so the masterclass was on mind shifts, and I was like, ooh, I love mind shifts. I am an upcoming entrepreneur, so I'm going to take action and do this. Which then, in hindsight, we'll go over the red flags and the green lights on when to move forward with a coach. But right now, I'm just kind of giving you the my mindset and my experience of what I went through, right? So after the masterclass, they invited you to submit your offer, and they were going to do a review on it and just to give you a free evaluation on how to take your current offer and present it into a 25K offer, which was like, okay, yeah, no big deal. That sounds great. So after that, I emailed them the offer, and they sent back a list of questions to fill out, and which I did to help so that it would help them craft my offer into a 25K offer. But now in hindsight, I'm realizing, oh, that was just some information they need to help with their sales call. So the offer review turned into a sales call. And once I was on that sales call, they went over my offer and then presented my offer in the light of a 25K offer. And they took all of my pains and my struggles and everything, and they were ready to go with their solution. And it was a great solution. Every single objection I had was met. And at the end of the call, it was a no brainer to go through their lending process and to send them 25K. And so I can start reaping in that 6-figure month. And a year later, start building out a team and then be hands off and then to grow and to scale. And in no time, this 6-figure per month business is going to turn into a multiple 7-figure business. So yeah, eventually I was persuaded into accepting their specific offer. Every single objection was met. And so the next logical step was to say yes. But in hindsight, I should have said no. So let's find out why. All right, so let's go over some red flags to look out for when you are looking to hire a business coach or a business program, or maybe some kind of even partnership deal, right? So it seems like a no-brainer, this kind of things, but you might not be thinking of these things in the moment. So if you're about to decide on something, look out for some of these red flags. I'm not saying these red flags are the red flags that were presented, but I have seen these throughout other coaching programs, other partnerships that I have gone through in my life. So, first one, little lies. Look out for little lies, even some of those that don't seem too misleading or seem too harmful. So, for example, if you're receiving an automated cold outreach messaging and they are saying that it's them, but you find out in hindsight that the messaging was actually done by their VA, by another VA, by an AI system, and it's not really them. I know they might approve the messaging, but just look at the way they're messaging. If the messaging is a blatant lie or even a little lie, I would consider that a red flag, because if they are able to lie about little things, they're going to be able to lie about big things. I guess, for example, also, if someone tells you they're going to send you something at a certain time or they're going to do something and they don't do it, that's going to be a little lie. And so that's going to be something that I would also look out for. Yeah, another little thing about a little lie, if you're seeing testimonies on their websites and you ask for their contact information and they're being very reluctant, or they even refuse to give you any contact information for any former clients or even the ones that you see from the testimonials, just be on lookout for that. Like, they should freely be able to give you their contact information to any former clients. Okay, so moving on to the second red flag to look out. Their promises are too good to be true. And if it just sounds too easy or too perfect, you need to be very wary. You need to do your due diligence into researching and learning more about this coach or program, because real growth takes time. It takes work. It takes effort. I know that you can leverage things. You can leverage time. You can leverage money, but real growth is going to take effort. It's not just going to be putting in $5 here and getting $10 out. Yeah, you can do that with ads, but you put in work into creating those ads. You put in work into creating the content. You're putting in a lot of work into your offer, into fulfillment. So if the promises are too good, just watch out for that. Even the guarantees, yeah, if their guarantees are too good, watch out for that too, because there's going to be a lot of fine print, and a lot of it's going to be, we just gave you our intellectual property, so you can't get your money back, buddy. Okay, so moving on to red flag number 3. The coach or the salesperson, they're just too pushy on the sales objections. If you have questions, or if you need more time, or if you say no, I understand the overcoming objections. But if the coach or the coaching program, they're just so pushy and pushy and pushy and pushy, trying to get you to do it, overcoming every objection, be careful of that. Another really big one is if you mention you need to talk to your spouse and they push back on that specific one. I know there's overcoming objections for the spouse objection, but I use it as a test now. If they push back on talking to your spouse, then that is a major red flag because you and your spouse are one. And if someone's trying to get into the middle of you and break it up, that is very demonic. So you need to watch out for that one. Okay. A good coach, they might help you handle objections with a mindset problem, but they're not going to push you into it because they're going to be well off. They're going to have a list of clients to work with. They don't need your money. They would love to help you and serve you. They would love your money, but a really good one, they don't really need it. They're just trying to serve and continue to serve and help others. So instead of going with a coach that's pushing you, here's a little green light one that we'll get into more of those. A good coach respects your discernment and your peace of mind. So if you're not at peace with it, they shouldn't be pushing you into it. All right, let's move on to red flag number 4. The final red flag, and then we'll move into some green lights on what to actually look for when hiring a business coach or starting a business or a coaching program. So if the coach is super hungry for money and they're pushing you to make that payment right then and there, and like nothing you can say to back down, and they're just wanting the payment right then and there, and they seem more money hungry than they are serving you, that's gonna be a red flag. So payments, they should represent commitment, not desperation. And if you feel any doubt, just pause, pray, and then ask for peace from God before making that decision, right? Also, be very aware of coaches that are constantly telling you how valuable they are. Well, I'm actually worth $300,000 because I did X, Y, and Z. I've gone under coaching program of X, Y, and Z. I've paid $100,000 doing this coaching program, and let me tell you, I am worth X, Y, and Z. Be careful of that because people like that, those are just some red flags to look out. All right, so just quick, quick recap. If you notice little lies, if their promises are too good to be true, if they're a little too pushy on the sales objection, or if they just seem money hungry and demand payments there on the call, those are some red flags to look out for. All right, now let's get into some green lights. So, this is what to look for when you are actually thinking of saying yes to starting a new coaching program or hiring that new consultant or coach. So, you are their ideal avatar and they understand your industry like the back of their hand. Let's just say this coach I hired, this coaching program I went through, they didn't really understand the industry I was in. They understood how to create really good offers, but they didn't understand the industry I was in. And they didn't understand my avatar, which I didn't have an avatar, which was probably another red light. I was not ready. I did not have my ideal client. I did not have my ideal client picked out. I was too broad. I didn't have any sales experience. So I wasn't a fit for the program. So, for example, I'm going through another coaching program because I'm always needing to learn and how to grow myself. And so I hired Brian Hood because he helps creative freelancers. And at this time, I would, yeah, consider myself a creative freelancer, small business owner, and he understands the world of podcasting and content marketing. So even though he's helping out music producers, web designers, and audio engineers, other creatives, he understands the podcast market and the content marketing market, and that's what I am in. So, all right, green light. He understands my industry. Does the coach or the coaching program understand your industry, your pain points, and how to solve those? All right, green light number 2, real guarantees. Do they have some real guarantees? And when you're reading the fine print, it's just no refunds because I'm giving you my intellectual property. I guess, for example, I'm just going to go through the program I entered. Because I hire them, right? So what's their real guarantee? If I do not land a client going through their system, then they will give me my investment back and keep working for me for free until I make that investment back. And even they do have stipulations, meaning you have to do our system and our processing, right? But you can always say it's not working and you can refund. You can get a full refund. You can get a full refund, even though they gave you all that work, all that intellectual property after 12 months of working for them. If you still never land a client going through their system, which might seem impossible because they have a really good system, I can still get all my money back. So I'm not nervous about it. All right. So green light number 3. They actually have an application process. They are willing to say no to you. You have to pass their first phase of evaluation. And if you answer all their questions correctly and you are a good fit for you, they'll say yes. But they're also willing to say no for you if you're not a good fit. Because you don't want to hire a coach who's going to say yes to everyone. You're going to want to hire a coach who's saying yes to their ideal clients who they know they can specifically help out. So they have an application process and you go through it. And if they say yes to that, that is another green light. All right. Green light number 4. They have true references and testimonials. And they're more than happy to give you the contact information for those references and testimonials. I'll give you this because I went through Brian's program a couple years ago and I exited. I saw a lot of great success and I was at that point where I didn't need to move on to the next part of his program, so I got out of it. And I would receive maybe a couple of people saying, "Hey, I heard you went through his program. Will you give me some insight?" And so I was giving them some insight onto it. And then I kept getting too many requests, so I asked him to, "Hey, uh, let's hold off on sending me this because they're getting a lot of people sending me stuff." But if they're happy to give you the contact information of the past clients, that is going to be a green light. And if their references and testimonials on their websites, their YouTube channels, their podcasts, they're true, valid, and licit, then that's another green light. Okay, and this next and 5th green light is going to be, I think, one of the most valuable ones. It's because they share your values. And this is especially important at the premium level. If you're paying someone $25K, $50K, $75K or above, I know sometimes you might be just looking for the result that they may have, but you need to share the same values they have because you're supporting their mission, their ministry, their program. Make sure that they are a coach or consultant of integrity, of virtue, of faith. If someone doesn't understand what it's like to be married and have multiple kids and trying to raise a faith-filled household, y'all are going to be on different levels of business and value and an understanding of the human existence itself. So look into their overall philosophy on life, and if it matches yours, that is going to be a green light. All right, so now we went over some red flags to look out for, some green lights that tell you to go ahead and move forward with this program. But how do you actually find the right coach? Because it took me a while to find the right one. The first step I say to take is to evaluate your business and your bottlenecks. Where are you having the most issues in your business? Is it the client acquisition side? Is it the fulfillment side? Is it the offer side? Is it the sales side? Just go through your entire sales process and see where the bottleneck is. For example, for me, it's a consistent flow of leads coming in. I may have a couple referrals every month, but I need just a consistent amount of leads coming in. So I was looking for someone who specializes in the client acquisition system. And Brian Hood's program, they do that. If I was looking to go from 6 to 7 figures, I probably wouldn't hire them for that. Or if I'm trying to go from 7 to 8 figures and to learn how to build a high functioning team, I wouldn't hire them for that. So at this stage in my business, their team is going to be the perfect hire for you. So just look at your business, your bottlenecks, and your goals. And the next step after that is to ask around your network. Just say, "Hey, I have this issue in my business. This is my bottleneck. I'm looking to overcome it. Do you know of anyone who can help me with this?" And hopefully you can get some recommendations from there, start building some relationships. And if that doesn't work, start researching online. So start looking in YouTube for your specific problems. So one of mine was how to create a sales script, because I was like, "Ah, my sales calls, conversations aren't going so well." So I typed that in. So a specific problem. And then after I did that, I just looked at the top rated YouTube videos. And then I click on that. They gave me some great info on how to create sales scripts. But then I noticed all those videos are actually from business coaches, and they each specialize in a certain aspect of business. Then once you click their video and their channel, you can learn about them, click their name. Oh, what do they have? Oh, they have a podcast. Oh, they have a blog. You can start doing some more research into that specific individual. Watch some videos. Yes, they all give you information on how to create a sales script on, but you'll get to know, okay, I like this person's, just the way they are, the way they talk. I like the way this person teaches. Oh, and then you do some more insight, some more sweet. Maybe you look them up on Instagram, LinkedIn. You're like, oh wow, this person is they're family friendly, or this person, ooh, they do not have the same values that I do. Oh, I would not do that. And so you start going through the red flags and the green lights to help you evaluate and to discern which person you start leaning towards or even learning from, really. Start following their content, listen to their podcast. And then when you do that, you're going to start learning about their offer. And once you find one of them who has an offer that fits your problems and they're going to be a solution to that, book a discovery call to see if they will be an actual good fit for you. And then after the discovery call, that's when you go through, you do your pros and your cons, your red flags and your green lights, and you discern if they're a good fit for you. Take that time of discernment, pray about it. Where are you feeling peace at it? Are you feeling any anxiety? If you're feeling any anxiety or overwhelm, say no to it. If you and your spouse, you're saying no to something, say no to it. But if you're seeing the door open and you're feeling peace at it and it's just working out, go through that doorstep. And sometimes you just don't know unless you take that yes and say yes. But as long as you're praying about it and saying, Lord, this is for you, I'm doing your will, and I'm stepping into this with your full of knowledge that this is for you and your plan for me. And he will give you that sense of peace or that sense of anxiety. Go towards the door of sense of peace. All right. So if you're thinking about some of those coaching programs or some of those people you're working for, think about, just go through those steps, look at the pros and the cons, the red flags, the green lights, pray about it. Where are those points of anxiety, those points of tension, or where are you feeling peace? Where are you excited? Where are you excited to say yes? Because in order to grow your business, you got to grow and expand, and you got to learn more. So that's what it is, really. So now, as we come to a close here, I would love for you to tell me in the comments below, especially if you're watching on YouTube, who is a virtual coach to you, a virtual mentor? Who has someone made some real impact in your life? And feel free to shout them out in the comments below and share your coaching story, because this is exactly how I got into my current coaching program, right? It's called, what's he called it? So Clients by Design. It's launched by Brian Hood. Has multiple coaches under him working, which is cool. But I've just started listening to the Six Figure Creative podcast week after week after week, and I got to know him, like him, and trust him. And then as soon as he launched his offer, it was kind of, again, a no-brainer offer. Just like the other coach I hired, which was kind of like I lost to $25,000, but this one was like kind of the no-brainer offer also. But now I went through the red flags, the green lights. I went through it all. I went through the application process. I discerned about it. I was at peace. He understands my industry, everyone in it. And that's why I said yes. And another one I listened to, I don't know if y'all listen to it, is Graham Cochran. So I've been listening to him through the Recording Revolution to now his own whole business consulting online business. So I continue to trust him, and I acknowledge his integrity in teaching. So if at some point, I may hire him on to help me. And who knows, as I continue to have specific issues and problems in my business, I research them and I go through this entire process again and again and again. And if you do say yes, go all in, follow their systems, follow their processes, and just keep working it out. And if there is no return on investment on it and it didn't work out, don't panic, learn from it. Because every single thing you do is a learning experience to help you grow each and every day. I know even it's been a learning experience for me. And honestly, I yeah, I did I did send an invoice for $25,000 to one of my clients last year. So, when you're able to spend that amount, you're able to receive it. So I didn't even think twice about it. I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's a lot of work. It's gonna be 25K." And they're like, "Okay, that's great. Just send me the invoice." And I did. And so in the end, it all works out, right? It always works out. So if you're a business coach or consultant or a mission-driven organization, this is exactly what I help them with. I help them to show up on YouTube and podcasts. So when these specific people like me who are searching these specific issues, your face is going to show up there and you're going to be able to help them and serve them. Just go to insidetheoffer.com/content to learn how we can help you build out your content system that attracts the right clients. And let's just see if we're a good fit to work together. That's all it is. It's like, are we going to be a good fit? Can I help you? Is it going to help you? Am I a good fit for you? Are you a good fit for me? I would love to help you. So, feel free to do that by going to insidetheoffer.com/content. And of course, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave that 5-star review so we can help other business coaches and consultants just like you share their message and grow their impact. So next week, I'm going to be sharing how to integrate your faith, your values, and your business perspectives in your messaging, and how to cut through the noise online and attract your ideal clients. So until next time, may God bless you and guide you in your business and your life.